If you are meditating for spiritual growth, then the primary goal of your meditation must be to stop thinking. In the beginning, it is almost impossible to stop thinking during meditation, and the spaces between thoughts can be as brief as only a couple of seconds. In order to help a person stop thinking, meditation systems have some kind of focus on the body, because focusing on your body diverts the mind into observing rather than thinking. It is like beginner awareness training. For example, a lot of Buddhist systems focus on breathing, Zen focuses on having the perfect posture, and Taoist meditations focus on posture and feeling the energy in your body. Some methods employ different kinds of counting to keep the mind occupied, but self-talk is not the ideal way because using words is a form of thinking. The thoughts that come up when a person tries to stop thinking are actually required for spiritual growth. They are an essential part of the spiritual path. In the beginning, thoughts that come up are mostly about what happened to us recently or what we expect we will do, or what is to come. For example, what someone said to us, what we said to them, what we would like to say to them, what we need to do tomorrow, our shopping list, or how we feel about the news. It seems like a never-ending list. Sometimes the same thought comes around and around repeatedly, like a toy train going around a circular track. After some months or years of meditation, the spaces between thoughts get longer and longer, and the meditator becomes less concerned about what they plan to say to someone. They become more spontaneous and don't want to clutter their mind with such things. Later, the thoughts that come up are more disturbing. You start to remember things that you did in the past, things that are really embarrassing, mean, selfish, and inconsiderate. In fact, people tend to keep their minds busy because they want to forget about their past mistakes. This is the point where self-honesty becomes all important. When you recall something embarrassing, you need to accept it, forgive yourself, and let it go. And it can take several times to accomplish the letting go. When we recall something we did that was mean or selfish, it is all important to admit it and accept it. If we feel remorse for something we did, then that is a big part of spiritual growth itself. Self-honesty is absolutely necessary to make it work, because denial will not work. For example, imagine someone who has just slapped their child. If the person is in denial, they will tell themselves that they aren't really the kind of person who would slap their child, that it happened for some reason that was out of their control. In other words, it was the other person's fault. When a person does this, then there is no problem, there is nothing to fix, so there is no possibility of spiritual growth. On the other hand, if they admit to themselves that they really are the kind of person who would slap their child because in fact they just did it, then they are admitting the truth, that there is a problem. Admitting there is a problem automatically suggests that there could be some way to fix the problem. Self-honesty results in becoming annoyed for having done it, and the annoyance provides the motivation to fix the problem. Further meditation gives insight into the cause of the problem. Seeing the original cause of the problem, feeling remorse, and being motivated to fix it eventually results in solving the problem, which is a big part of spiritual growth. Another thing is it makes the person aware of triggers, so in the future they can see it coming and defuse it before it happens. Everyone has automatic reactions to things which may have served them well when they were children, but those same reactions cause problem when a person becomes older. So those are emotional problems, maybe just little ones, and everyone has them. Looking honestly at our emotional problems requires bravery, and the process is sometimes likened to a person entering a dark cave of fear. Facing these little emotional problems is the mark of a mature person, and a spiritually advanced person can be defined as someone who is mature. On the other hand, those who do not have self-honesty and are in denial are immature and not spiritually advanced. As you can see, self-honesty is the most important ingredient required for spiritual growth, and those who tend to be in denial, which is a lot of people, will quit real meditation and instead go for guided meditations and the trinkets of different spiritual traditions. The self-honest person will feel remorse, which encourages healing, while the person who is in denial may feel guilt, which does not result in healing. Feeling remorse and feeling guilt are not the same thing. Remorse comes from honesty and guilt comes from denial. Little by little, over a period of some years, the meditator will end up reviewing every single embarrassing and mean thing they have done in their entire lives. They end up understanding and forgiving themselves and loving themselves in spite of their imperfections. This is why it is said that enlightenment does not come by striving towards the light, but rather by processing the darkness. It is sometimes called embracing your dark side. Another important part of meditation is looking for and releasing tension in our bodies. You will find that there are deeper and deeper levels of tension that become apparent as the more superficial layers of tension are released. Eventually, you discover the tension that is at the core of your being and work on releasing that. Since there is less and less to review, the spaces between thoughts gets longer and longer. There are fewer thoughts and there is more peace. Once at this stage, the meditator should stop focusing on their body because the focusing itself causes some tension. Eventually, the meditator gets to a point where thoughts stop for extended periods. It becomes a peaceful, blissful state, and they tend to lose track of time. This is called samadhi in some systems. Thinking can be stopped simply by willpower, or it just happens spontaneously. Non-thinking, Zen-type meditation is not a trance state or a hypnotic state. It is the opposite. It is a state of hyper-awareness which is made possible due to the cessation of thought. Thinking and awareness are mutually exclusive. The more a person thinks, the less aware they will be. A person can become acutely aware of all the sounds in their environment, and Taoist energy cultivators become aware of the energy flowing in their bodies. They can also become aware of the energy in their environment and are able, for example, to sense people approaching who are sometimes far away. The awareness will eventually encompass psychic abilities, so they become aware of the spirit realm and of what other people are thinking. A fast spiritual path is one that requires a lot of quality meditation and energy cultivation, and it works better for younger people because they usually have less darkness in their past. The fastest of all the pure meditation paths are ones in which the meditator is locked in a cave and sees no one for months.